Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in and dropping by Lock with Key. I'm Key, your host, and today I'm coming to you with some real content about taking a leap of faith. I just want to encourage someone to keep going today and tell my journey of taking a leap of faith. So, if this is you and you want some encouragement today, or you just want to hear my journey, stay tuned. All right, so I am going to tell you a little bit about my journey and how I got from Syracuse, New York to Atlanta, Georgia. Um, so this took a lot of faith. This really took a lot of faith. So, first off, me being religious, I always start off with weighing my pros and cons with God. So I was kind of in a relationship, and just to let you know, if you see me look down, it's because I have my notepad and I wrote everything down that I want to cover. So yeah. So my pros and my cons, I wrote all my pros and cons down and I brought them to God. So I always start with God. I'm very religious. However, if you're not religious, just writing down the pros and cons will suffice. So my story was someone that I was interested in and he was interested in me. We were going to move to another place, Texas. And we both raised money to move. And when we decided that we were going to move, we gave ourselves a goal and a time frame to move. And unfortunately, once the time frame, once it came to that date, he wasn't ready. He had his money, I had my money, but he came up with any excuse for us not to move. So I was okay with that, but my mindset was still set on moving. So my god sister, she graduated, and came to Atlanta. And I was like, you know what? Every time I come to Atlanta, I really, really like the vibe that is here in Atlanta. Like, I like to see successful black people, and I like the feel, I like the vibe. So I was always like, in the back of my head, yeah, I should move. Then I met with my cousin. He was just telling me all my options. He was just telling me what I could do, how I could move, and where I should move, X, Y, and Z. So then I planned a birthday trip to Atlanta, and that's when I fell in love with Atlanta. I started looking for apartments and all that jazz, and I fell in love with one apartment, but then I ended up going with where my cousin told me to move, and I was like, okay, this is my starting place. This is what I want to do, because once the person I was interested in wanted to move to Atlanta, I kind of was like, okay, my mind started being set on moving. So I love Syracuse to death. It's always going to be home, but I just needed a change. I needed to actually do something that I was going to grow and was going to grow me. So I want to say, you write down your pros and cons and then you start. You actually need to know your pros and cons before you start, so you can really come to a realization and have low expectations when things happen. So you want to start. So I started planning, and I started raising money to save up for moving into the apartment. And I did, and I had so many no's. Like, honestly, my father, he didn't want me to move. My mother, she was all for it. She wanted me to move. She wanted me to see the world. So she's one of those people. She's very outgoing, very adventurous. She'll move. So I decided to go ahead and move. I had gotten so many no's, like from people that I loved, and not just my father, but from friends, like people like, oh, well, you don't have this, you shouldn't move. oh, I hear that people that move to Atlanta, they always move back to Syracuse. Like, people at my job was just like being encouraging, but telling me what I could not do. So I say that to say this: let all your no's push you to your yeses. So whenever someone tells you no, kind of like push the envelope or push until you get what you want. Just go after what you want. So that brings me to my next tip. Don't rely on others or expectations. So when I moved here to Atlanta, I relied on so many people being here. And when I first came here, my cousin, he ended up going away. My god sister, it was just a lot. Like, my god sister, she ended up moving, and that was a sad situation, because I'm like, I came down here to be with you guys and you're not even here. One of my close friends, she ended up getting a great job and had to move. And I mean, job over friendship, of course you're gonna move. And then the only person I really felt I had left here was my aunt. And that was a lot, because it was just like I was kind of here by myself. However, sometimes God puts you in situations that you need to be in, because it was like, since I only had my aunt, she changed me for the better. I have always, and I mean always, been in church. Like, anybody that knows me knows my mother was there we was there for puppet ministry, for usher board, for choir, for anything that involved the church. We was there. Okay, so I was in everything in church. And when I lived in Syracuse, I did go to Bethany Baptist Church. Shout out to Bethany. Love Bethany. However, once I moved, I didn't really have a church home. So my aunt, she actually took me in and started becoming like my spiritual leader. And my spirit began to move, and I started becoming a totally different person while going to my church. Love my church home. Shout out to Pastor Lee at Berean Christian Church. Like, you just don't know how much this guy has done or changed my spirit or my ways of thinking. He is just an awesome man. He has a large congregation, but no matter what or how large it get, it still feels like home. Like, it feels like it's only 2 people in there serving the Lord, but it's actually 1,000 people in there serving the Lord. So shout out to that church. But back to the story, like, I grew so much. My aunt grew me. But unfortunately, God said, sorry for me getting emotional, but God said that it was time for her to go. So now I was really alone. And people didn't understand how alone I was. So I started making friends and started being cool with people and creating friendships at work. But that was different, because not everybody's intention is the same intention as yours, if that makes sense. So again, I started relying on other relationships and not relying on my relationship with God or my relationship with myself. If you're not religious, it's your relationship with yourself, with your spirit, with your energy that you need to rely on. So I started relying on my relationship with God. So I let down my expectations, because when I came here, I was expecting to be a nurse in Atlanta. That changed drastically. So that brings me to my next tip. have more than one game plan. When I came here, my expectation was to be a nurse at a nursing home. I found a nursing home to be um to work at, and it was awesome. It was cool. However, I realized that a nurse was not who I am. Like, I'm very caring. I love to care. However, me and science, we do not get along. Now, I can do some experiments, some bomb experiments, but me and science, we just don't get along. So going back to school to get my RN just was not in the cards for me. And it was just a lot I was going through, where I had to make some changes because I was working 11 to 7. I felt like I had no life. I felt like my purpose for getting to Atlanta was being drowned out by working all the time, 40 plus hours all the time. No knocking to nurses, because I love all my friends that are nurses. They do a bomb job. But just for me, nursing was not it. So I started working at a daycare, and I literally was making lower than I ever made in my life, even working in Syracuse as in dietary. So I was working there, and this lady, she was like really, really mean. So I had to amp up my faith in God and know that God was going to bring me out. And I started tithing more. I just started doing more. And God showed out. He ended up getting me a job at T-Mobile. And a lot of people, it's so funny because a lot of people, they knock people that work at like T-Mobile, AT&T, all those type of places. Don't knock them. I'm just going to tell you why. A lot of them only work 30 something hours a week. However, they most likely make more than you do. I'm not trying to be rude, or I'm not trying to brag, but at T-Mobile, I became so comfortable with sales and just working for them in general. Like, I became so comfortable, and I started settling because I was like barely working but making so much money, and I loved it, and I loved that I could travel. I loved that I was just so comfortable. I didn't have to ask anybody for anything. I could buy what I want. Like, I loved it. I loved working at T-Mobile. But one day we had a meeting, and they were talking about the commission and the commission structures. And I was still going to school, and I could not decide what I wanted to major in. I still hadn't picked a major. And we were talking about salary and commission and how it was now going to be presented. So I was just like, ooh, this is just not me. So it was a lot. I was just like, okay, so I have to come up with a change. Like, what is going to happen if I'm not making what I want to make every year? Like, I need to make a change where I know my salary every single year. I know that I'm going to make money. I know that I'm going to have income coming in. So I had to change my game plan. So my next tip is, it's okay to change. It is okay to change. Literally, I started working at, while I was working at T-Mobile, I started going to school. I started attending GPC, then I started attending GSU. And I talked to my advisor and my therapist. If you don't have a therapist, get you one. Know why? Because they don't know you. They don't benefit for giving you advice. They might get money, but telling you the wrong advice, they get no benefits from it. Where other people that you talk to, they may benefit from it. You never know what their true intentions are. So get you a bomb therapist, just let you know. So it's okay to change. It's okay to change. So what I ended up doing was I picked early childhood because everybody always told me how much I love kids. Like, I didn't notice that I'm always around kids. I always surround myself around kids, and it's because their love is so genuine for you. It's really, really genuine. They truly, truly, if they're around you, they want to be around you. They pick to be around you. Their intentions is more, if I be around you, I love you, or I want to play with you, or whatever. I don't know. But I just love kids. I love how real they are. I love how funny they are. I love how they say what comes to the top of their brain. And I love how they love. They truly just love. So I graduated from GSU, and then I started going to Kennesaw. I graduated from there in July with my master's. But I started to begin to let go. Can I tell y'all? I ain't start beginning to let go until I have been living here for 10 years. I have literally been spending 2019 and 2020 really letting go of old baggage. Like, just right now, I'm just starting to let go of old baggage. And the reason why I say let go of old baggage is because old baggage brings up the old you. So those people that were in your corner since you were in first kindergarten grade or whatever, it is okay to let them go. Some people are here for a lifetime. Some people are here for a lesson. Some people are here for a blessing. But I don't want you to take that lesson and think that it is not a blessing. It is a blessing. Everything that you go through is just something that's teaching you to become a little bit more wiser, or it just enriches you. It really empowers you. It really helps you. So don't be afraid of letting go of old baggage. For example, the reason why you want to let go of old baggage is because you have to understand that old baggage only knows the old you. So, for example, let's put it in these terms. If you're an alcoholic, or you were an alcoholic, if you were an alcoholic 10 years ago, and you have recovered, you have been a recovering alcoholic, you have been clean for 10 plus years, you cannot have those friends that supported you through your alcoholism days, or the days that you were alcoholic and were going through recovery. It's hard for them to still be your friend. The reason why I say that is because they're always gonna refer back to the old you. Some friends do. There is sometimes where you'll get a friend that, will accept the new change in you. But there's going to be that one time, that one conversation where something you did during those years reoccurs and cycles back. And they start throwing it back in your face. Oh, you did this. Oh, you did that. Oh, you did this. Oh, you did that. That's why you want to let go of old baggage. You want to forget about the past. You want to forget. And it's not that you want to truly forget. You just want to learn from it and grow from it and move on, if you get what I'm saying. Like, life is all about a journey, and in that journey you could not go back. You cannot go backwards. You have to keep moving. You have to keep going on your straight path. So in order to do that, you need to get you some scriptures and some quotes. So for me, I always jot down some scriptures each day, and I literally dive into them deep and ask myself, how am I going to apply this today? However, if you're not religious, you want to look up some quotes that motivate you. What motivates you? Like for me, if I'm feeling down and I'm like, I can't do this, this is too tough, I always think, faith makes things possible, not easy. And it's just like you can think of those scriptures to literally encourage yourself. And it's all about always encouraging yourself, or not always having to call that person or call another person to encourage you. You need to be able and capable of encouraging yourself while you take leaps of faith. You have to be able to do that. So another thing you want to do is not worry about the loneliness. When you take a leap of faith, it is going to be lonely because not everybody is going to believe in your dream. Not everybody needs to know your dream. Not everybody needs to go with you while you're creating this dream or creating these goals for yourself. You need to make sure that during those lonely times, because we all feel them. Some people like, oh no, I don't feel lonely. I don't feel fear. I don't feel this. I don't feel that. Okay, that's cool. That's cool and all. But it's just like a human thing to feel those things. And it's okay to feel them, but it's not okay to stay in them. And I think that's where people get it mixed up. They're like, oh, God said do not fear. But it's not that he doesn't want, he knows that we are as humans going to fear. He does not want us to stay in that fear. He does not want us to stay in that worry. So in order to do that, you want to eliminate negative thoughts. You want to replace them with positive thoughts, and you want to be able to encourage yourself, or call your therapist, or have that person that you know. By this time, you need to have those people that you know are going to be there for you at that time. Like for me, example, I started literally placing my friends, even old friends, into boxes. I started placing them into, okay, this person I could call for this. This person I could call for this. This person I could call for this. And this person. So I have my travel friends. I have my friends that I can go out with. I have my friends that I can have a good time with and just go out to dinner with. I have literally, like, I have friends that, like, I don't want to eat from the table that they're eating. So therefore, I can't call them for advice, because what they're going through, I don't want to go through. So why would I take advice from them? And I'm not saying that people won't have encouraging words for you, but at the end of the day, you have to be mindful of all the people that you're calling. And at times when you're lonely, you have to be mindful of the people that you're calling in their true intentions. Let's not go there. So another tip, do it the way you want. Do it the way you want. If you don't even want to take none of my advice, that is fine. Everybody's story is different. If we refer to the Bible, literally, everyone's story is totally different. How they found God was totally different. Is there a manuscript of how to take a leap of faith? Or is there a manuscript of how to go and start that business? Is there a manuscript of how to start a YouTube channel, or how to grow your business, or how to get your students to go to class? Whatever you do, there is no right or wrong way, but you have to start and you have to take that leap of faith. That's the one thing I can say you have to do. You have to start, you have to trust, and you have to take that leap of faith. But even if you don't want to follow any of my tips, because they're just tips just for encouragement, have at it. Whatever you see yourself doing and however you want to do it, make it your own. I see so many people saying, oh, this is the best way to do this. This is the best way to do that. And people are getting paid to do that. And I'm like, everybody story is not the same. What works for you might not work for somebody else. So, yeah. And you don't know if that person is telling you away just because they don't want, because if you grow and that person, you're paying that person to help you grow, you might not need that person no more, right? So how would that person continue to get paid? They're not going to tell you their true algorithm of actually succeeding, because they don't, a lot of people intentions is they don't want you to succeed past them. So no, I'm just saying, do it the way you want. Repeat any step at any time. Whatever step you want to, repeat it. If you have to go back to it, go back. Seek spiritual guidance. If that's your parents, if that's your friend that you know is there already and you want to get there, and just seek guidance and positive guidance. For me, that would be a therapist, that would be my pastor. But just seek someone or find someone that is literally experienced in that field that you want to get into, and seek that guidance. And lastly, start with God, always end with God. Like, I'm still evolving. I've been here in Atlanta for 10 years, going on 11 next March. And I just have to say, thank you, Lord, because I know I wouldn't have made it without my dad, my mom, my friends, and I wouldn't have made it without encouraging words. I took leaps of faith. I let go a lot of toxic relationships just to be here. And I'm not saying that Atlanta makes you successful. Oh, no. I'm saying be here where I am. I now have my bachelor's. I'm now getting my master's. I'm now living dreams. I'm living out my dreams. I'm becoming a YouTuber. I'm becoming a role model in the community. I'm a cheerleading coach. Like, I just love my life, and taking a leap of faith is creating the life you want. That's what taking a leap of faith, that's how you start it. You take a leap of faith to create the life you want. So if this resonated with you, comment down below. If you feel that you need to take a leap of faith, comment down below, take a leap of faith. And let's talk, let's chat. Also, you can comment down below any videos you want to see in the future. And make sure you like, you subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I love you guys. I'm sorry I got so deep today, but I just wanted to put this out there because during this time of crisis, it is time we turn crisis into success. So in order for us to do that, we have to focus on us, and we have to be a little bit selfish at this time. I say self-quarantine is time for self-love, self-devotion, self-care, just taking care of self. I think that a lot of people are not doing that at this time, but it is time. It is time to really take care of ourselves. So you all be blessed. Thank you so much for tuning in to Lock with Key. This is your girl Key. Again, I love you all. Mwah.